Clark, will you go stand there for me a second? Right about there. What do you think? It's good. I think it's good too. Awesome. We'll wait for the bells before we get started. You guys can watch your mom. There are currently 8 people watching.
Wait, is it their names?
I have no idea who they are. Well, there are 22 and 8 visitors.
Wait, so you can't see who they are?
Nope.
Oh.
You can tell. Is it your mom?
No, my dad might be watching. No, my dad was watching. Of course, my mom.
Hey guys, let's watch my daughter give a poem.
Yeah.
Wait. That would be awesome, actually. So who's Mrs. over there? Oh. Yes. Maybe she's taking advantage of the 10-minute passing. You guys were so excited to get here. We're good. If it would be better, you guys. I don't know. I might. What? Did you say? I might. Yeah, but just like. You guys have your rubrics?
No.
What now? Rubrics, they look like this. They're attached to the back of this. Well, you better go get it. I don't think I got one.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. I can find my locker.
Does anyone want?
Go get it.
Okay.
It's in your locker. Go get it.
Alright, leave that out.
Yeah, it's on the back.
Yeah.
It's the back page of the spoken word packet, so you can just rip it off the back. So do I just?
Oh, probably.
How was your first final? First two finals, were they good? Did you kill them? Yeah, I got it. Mark, did you have finals this morning? For Ben? Did you have finals this morning?
Yeah, I too.
How'd they go?
I think it was.
We'll just wait for those two lovelies to come back with their rubrics and then we'll get started.
I don't have one.
Well, luckily I finished this from Randy's.
I can get.
You don't need to come and get it. I'll just write your name on it when it's done.
Mine's
Great. So finals went okay this morning?
Yeah.
Good? Awesome. We're only going to like 1 o'clock, so no problem. 1:05. Is when you're supposed to be. You okay?
Oh, yeah.
How was your final, by the way?
It was good.
Good. Yep, you're on TV. Don't start. Nicola. I'm just
Don't start laughing.
I'm not looking
Don't start laughing. It's not gonna be good.
Can you lock that? Thank you.
All right, Addie, ready? Let's get this party started. Can I have your room?
Oh, shoot. Okay, so it's like this one, right?
One that's pointing that way.
Try it out.
Okay. Yeah. People say that bad and good things come in threes. What's weird is that love and kind are 4 letters, 4 parts of the ABCs. It can be the greatest things you'll ever know, or it can knock you down with one. You might lose yourself trying to be kind, but discover a part of yourself that's previously confined. Love is laughing so hard you can't breathe with people that you never want to leave, holding your brother for the first time, not knowing what it means until later. You fight with that kid, that little person with so many big dreams, now somehow your best friend and worst enemy. Love can and will break you. Seeing my 10-year-old brother, pale and fragile after losing 30 pounds and throwing up for hours on end next to his crying mother. Twice it happened in 1 month. I had an overnight bag packed with a week's clothes, so I was ready when my parents told me that they were going back to the hospital. Back to the white sheets, back to the small rooms with the small TVs, back to small amounts of nausea was happening to my baby brother. Nothing hurts worse than wanting to take away all the pain from him and put it on myself because no one to kills him to not be outside running around like a regular kid. Anything would be better than watching his half-closed eyes, so dull and so tired, screaming for anyone to help him, but no one can. Anything would be better than watching him lose his personality, his smile, his happiness. But through all of the pain and tears, love comes around. It made me realize that I need the people around me as much as I need anything else. It made me realize that that little kid I once held for the first time is now mysteriously okay. That the two of us don't fight like we used to every single day. Love changes you. Makes me want to be kind to everyone I see because I don't know what they're going through. I don't know what their family's like. I don't know if they're putting on a smile to make that everything's all right. I don't know if they have to cover their mouth with their hand so no one hears their sobs at night. I don't. No one does. The appearance of someone does not show who they are or what they're going through, which is why kindness is something society needs to pursue. Kindness goes a lot farther than you think. It makes you realize that, I fail to understand why those who hate this world. Hate and kindness take the same amount of effort. So I'm discriminating, backstabbing, judging, and you could be laughing, helping, smiling. Kindness and love are 2 peas in a pod. Where there's love, kindness is peeking out from behind the door. Where there's kindness, love is hiding in the drawer. They say the good and bad things come in 3s, but love and kind are 4 letters. So I guess for every 3 moments without sunshine, love and kind bring by 1 every single time.
Dear future self, do you remember those people in middle school who tried to seem better than they were? Do you remember feeling really upset about it? There's a whole world out there trying to mask their identities. They don't want people to see who they truly are, but that's not who you are. You know who you want to be, so follow your heart and remember the values that make you stand apart. Authenticity, true to one's spirit, personality, or character. Being authentic means, don't be afraid of simplicity and vulnerability. Being genuine shows that you can be true to yourself and to others around you. Authenticity and simplicity go hand in hand. Being authentic makes your life simpler. If you can think of those people who lie to seem better, or those people who never act the same way twice. Vulnerability is another key part. It takes skill and is sort of an art. But while you look for the weak parts in someone else, you must be willing to give that up in yourself. On the Salmon River in 2017, we gathered around the fire. Favorite songs and stories made Mrs. Petralia cry. Green and blue bracelets were passed around, and everyone shared what they loved about one another. When it was my turn to share, I opened up and shared my favorite thing about the river. Before, talking out loud had scared me, but now I wasn't afraid to deliver. And that's when I learned that vulnerability can be a good thing. Hard work is treasured in real life too, but don't forget that it's shown by working hard. And always remember Dad's favorite quote, Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Ninth grade honors English. It freaked me out at first, but it actually wasn't the worst. I've made mistakes along the way, but I'll keep getting better too. And when Macbeth came along, I was nervous about my writing. It wasn't up to the standards that I wanted. But with many mistakes along the way, the last paper that I turned in got a 100. And so to my dear future self, I hope you know that you can accomplish anything, and no pressure. I think you can do anything you put your mind to. Just keep in mind authenticity and hard work. It will keep you going when times get tough. And remember that you are capable of being genuine and you are enough.
There's 10 people watching.
My favorite part was honors English hasn't been that bad. No, honors English isn't the worst. That was the worst. So good.
It is. That's one. Oh, thank you.
That's the thing.
I'm so glad.
Okay, I'll just do one.
Can we start whenever? Yeah. Okay, cool. Dear future Leanna, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Achieving your dreams, doing what makes you happy? I wonder, what is it that makes you happy nowadays? Is it opportunities to travel the world? A big house with a mansion and a butler and a maid? Or is it our family, people who made our life worth living? You see, do you remember all the wonderful hard times we had with them? Laughs with mom until our stomach hurt, or vibrant stories grandma tells on the warm summer days. I didn't really like warm summer days apparently. Or is it advice that our cousin gives us when we have literally no direction in life? Or is it going to Disneyland with Dad, going on all the rides until the park closed? Or is it the little cousins, seeing how they run around and play tag, enjoying the simple things in life? I think things have changed, I imagine. People have grown older. You've grown wiser and smarter, I hope. But I still hope you keep our values close to your heart. Because fame and power come and go. Success is not a given. Things such as money or paparazzi or a star on the Walk of Fame, star on the Walk of Fame, those things are just temporary in the grand scheme of things, and they don't make you truly happy for long. You don't control what other people do or say, but you do control what you focus on and what you think and do. So appreciate those around you. Appreciate the love they give you, for you don't know how long you'll have it for. When I was 6, I saw my Uncle Jimmy slowly frail away. But the entire time while he was fighting an illness, my family was at every step of the way. Because he had a successful life, owned his own business, run it for so many years. But that was not what made him happy in the end. It was a family that surrounded him till the very last day, till he took his last breath. So, as you go on in your life, future self, I hope you keep this in mind. For your mom, your dad, your grandma, your aunts, uncles, all your cousins, your ginormous family, is what's going to keep you going in life. So take care of yourself. Stay happy.
My head is on backwards and it won't turn around. I've tried and I've tried, but I still see upside down. But there's nothing I can do, so I sit here and wait for someone to come and put it on straight. It's hard to see clearly when you can't see at all. When you think you are walking, you run into a wall. There's nothing I can do, so I sit here and wait for someone will come and put it on straight. It's hard to swim when all you do is drown, staying above and keeping your crown. But there's nothing to do, so I sit here and wait, and someone will come and put it on straight. You cannot run without learning to walk. You cannot lie without learning to talk. You cannot feel without learning to love, and you cannot pursue without rising above. You cannot feed someone else until you learn to feed yourself. You cannot care for others if you do not care for your true colors. If you jump without learning to stand, you will fall and have to try it again. Happiness held to you alone is happiness that has never been known. You see things distorted, and when you look at you, you try and you try, but you might sometimes lose. But there's nothing to do, so sit there and wait for someone to come and put it on straight. You cannot fly without learning to fall. You cannot win if you don't try at all. Sometimes we cry and there's nothing to say, but the sun still shines even on the cloudiest day. Life is not a spectator sport, so get up and go join the fun. The day is still young. No uniform is required. Just yourself, get up and smile. Here's a question to ponder. Would you as a child be stronger? Would you as a child have cared about their face or their messy, cute hair? If we could remember the things we forgot, we would hate it and never think another real thought. The past has already happened, so smile a little. Rain always passes and leaves a nice puddle. You cannot go hungry for someone else. The person who hates you the most is yourself. So don't cry anymore, lift up your chin, and try to have a positive day. Don't let sadness in. Laughter and smiles are the fuel that bring tomorrows. Without them, only darkness and hate, so keep a happy disposition and a happy mental state. And when you think you see backwards, don't sit there and let your happiness crumble like crackers, but instead just sit there and wait for someone to come and put it on straight. It's like the old joke that's just barely all right. How many people does it take to screw in a light? One to hold the ladder as support, and you to change the bulb that represents your heart. And when you see backwards and upside down too, you think to yourself, what do I do? But there's nothing to do, so just sit there and wait for someone to come and put it on straight. So do you see backwards? Is your head not quite right? You try and you try, but you can't win the fight? Well, there's nothing to do, so sit there and wait for someone will come and put it on straight.
Thanks, Max.
That was very Dr. Susie.
I know, I love it.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, thank you. All right, my poem is titled Don't Forget. All right, don't forget. Don't forget who. Don't forget those who have made you, changed you, or shaped you. Don't forget the grandparent who fed you when you were sick and who you could lean on when you needed them the most. Don't forget the cousin who you could play video games with in your basement and share your stupidest hopes and dreams with. Or the aunt that you could call when you were feeling down and at your lowest. Look for the pieces of life they've shared with you, little compartments of hope. See the beauty in what they've done. Don't forget what makes you you. Your goofy smile, the way you love the smell of fresh popcorn, or how you always laugh at the worst jokes. Think of your family, the moments you share, like that time where you knocked over your glass at the restaurant while acting as your favorite scene from the movie you just saw, or the places you've been. Even the little things are worth remembering. Details help everything. Think of that time where your friend reached out his hand to you just to whisper the smallest joke in your ear to get the littlest smile out of you when you're feeling down and at your lowest. Remember how much that meant to you. Don't forget the feeling of the trees waving at you as their warm air brushes against your skin. For that time you went pool hopping with friends, lit flares, and biked around the neighborhood. Remember how much that meant and how great it felt. Don't forget to care about others. Look at what they do well and help them with their struggles. They may be fighting a battle you don't know about, and just saying hi to them in the hallways helps put a little light back in their life. Don't forget to love your siblings. Even though they may drive you insane, without them you want to learn patience, kindness, and forgiveness. Never forget to look for the lost. You may be the light that helps lead them out of darkness. Dream. Never forget to dream. Dreaming makes goals, and goals help motivate you to your next steps in life. Never forget that even when you're wandering through the cave of life and there seems that there is no hope left, think of all the people who have brought you grace. To close, don't forget that even when you're bent, you're not broken. You may be down, but not out. Remember all the things that people have done for you. Remember that friend that reached out his hand to you and just whispered the smallest joke to you. Thank you.
Will you close up all those windows on the top for me?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Wisdom can be used for many things, to judge, brag, or boast, or to hold others up and empower them with your knowledge. Everyone wants wisdom, and it's there to be shared, so help the kid who needs help. Some use wisdom as a sword to cut others down and hurt them, while others use it as a shield. And you just might make someone's life a little better, because you don't know what someone's going through or what battles they're fighting. So treat everyone with kindness and respect, and you never know what will happen when you put others first and the little things second. There's more to life than smartness, more to existence than sagacity. Change the lives of others in a different way, through faith. Faith is a pillar, standing strong and tall, connects us to heaven, holds up the house of our life. When you have faith, nothing will be impossible to you. You'll be able to continue and carry on long after others have stopped to rest. Faith is like a mountain, tall and immovable, weathering through the storms. It can never be toppled. When you see someone down on their luck, in need of faith, do what you can and help them. Or faith might be a facade, the outward appearance that might or might not help you get through the day. More important are friends, people to spend time with, those who have the power to hold you up or tear you down, who say they have your back. But in the end, your friends won't be there to help you. You have to rely on yourself and stay strong. You have to show that you can be better than those who would tear you down, those who would hit you and kick you, because deep down inside you know that you have what they don't have. After all, be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. And when you're running the race of life and you see someone stop by the side of the road, do you finish or help them? Win a race or win a friend? There are many types of faith, but one that many miss is faith in humanity. Be the one who makes someone smile. Be the one who makes someone laugh. Share a little bit of wisdom with them. Help them get through the day. Because in the end, it's the little things that count.
You're doing so good, guys. What did he say? I said, you're doing so good. Yeah.
Which one is it? This one? Okay. When I take time to reflect, not always on the good, but what's in effect, I think of the failure, the feeling I avoid with all my might, the word I run from at the sight, a meaning that crushes all my hope, the enemy that tries to pull me in. When I think of failure, I start to shiver. I fear failure because of the possibility of disappointing myself and my dreams. But mostly, I fear failing others. I don't want to fail as a sister or as a daughter, a friend, or a student. I start to regret choices because of the threat of failing, the threat of letting the other side win. Because as I've grown up, it can feel like failing isn't an option. There's too much at stake, so keep putting on my face. When I hit my breaking point, I need to remember failure needs to be embraced, failure needs to be welcomed, because the world is not perfect and I am not perfect. So I will try to fall, try to fail. From the bottom to the top, I will grow because there's only one way up. When I dream, I see a perfect world, a world where there is more failure. Failure will be just as important as good grades. Teachers will hope for failure that will help us learn. My friends and I will relate and debate our missteps with only the thoughts of helping each other be better, because we will be able to share our failures as easily as our opinions. When I think of being my best self, I want to be open and honest, to be able to support others. I don't want to be embarrassed to show my flaws, because failing is scary and can seem like the enemy. But sometimes we need healing. Fail after fail, I will remember to always stand up. As I stand, I will hold others' hands and convince them to do the same. When I look back, I try not to dwell. I think after a long day, failure will soon be gone. One moment that does not define us. I will get up and keep going because the secret to success is all around us. When I succeed, I tend to ignore the struggles to get there, when in fact failure is key to success. Although it may sound funny, embrace failure as one of your core values, because it will show where things need to be changed. And changes may lead to more failures, but eventually the tide will turn. No matter how long it takes, things will be different.
I will live with failure, helping shape who I'm becoming.
Where? Oh.
Yeah, and click pause on that.
I was 11 years old, soon to be 12, just starting to grasp the mountain of middle school, just starting to learn how to work a locker. Devoted to a passion of soccer. Days filled with school, nights filled with play. Practice, effort, work towards improvement every day. Our team's year was closing. Big tournament final, capping the lid to a suspensefully yet successful season. Months of preparation, after earning qualification to the final where we would walk away with flagging feet, but a grand golden trophy and a ranked top in the state. School semester was ending. First batch of grades, earned from new classes and teachers, after meeting new people and friends, and taking on new challenges and opportunities by finding and opening once locked doors. Goals of summiting the mountain, the year that twisted, winded, and stretched for so long. Hopes of reaching the top to find the reward that waited. And when I finally reached the peak, I looked down the year I had beat. It had been one of the best because I had achieved success. I'm now 14, soon to be 15, setting goals to become my best self so I can conquer the ever-growing mountain once again. A goal to be strong, staying true to what I believe in and fiercely fighting for it through integrity. A goal to be active, staying fit to become my best physical self so that I can blast through barriers holding me back. Overcoming obstacles by pushing through pain and persevering through hard times. A goal to be a great student, working hard in class and studying to make sure I succeed in every class. A goal to fail, making mistakes but learning lessons to better myself for the future, so that when I fall to the ground, I can brush off the dirt and keep going. A goal to be my best self to others, being a good peer but an even better friend, choosing kindness to bring others up despite feeling down. Because success is about setting goals and achieving those goals through hard work, perseverance, and determination. And I know I will succeed. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Faith is complete trust in someone or something. When things are looking down, remember and have faith in these 7 things. 1, have faith that things will get better even when they aren't so favorable. Life will spring out like a jack-in-the-box, hit you, and it'll hurt, but it'll only give you bumps and bruises. Some days you'll be sailing the boat of life through choppy waters, but remember to look towards the horizon of tomorrow and know that the days ahead are smooth sailing. Things will get better even if it feels as if you're surrounded by pain. 2, have faith in your family. Your family will always be there to support you and help you get through tough times. Times when it feels like the whole weight of the world is on your shoulders, they'll be there to take some of that weight off and place it on their own. Family will be hard, but you have to know they love you no matter what. 3, have faith in knowing when to let go of something. It's easier said than done, but letting go of that luggage is going to make it so much easier to go forward. The baggage you leave behind won't slow you down in the race of life. The bad times, they're like dust in the wind. The bad times, they're not worth holding on to, and as time goes on, they'll fade away like dust in the wind. The good times, they're like precious diamonds, and you make sure you never let those go. 4, have faith in your conscience. Your conscience will create a path for you will lead you in the right direction and create a path for you to walk. The path will not be easy. You'll stumble over roots and rocks of embarrassment and shame, You'll be smacked with branches of fear and dread, but at the end of the hike, you'll stand on top of a mountain with a feeling of accomplishment and pride. 5, have faith in life itself. Life is what you make it, and the adventures you choose to take will lead you around the world. Opportunities, big and small, await you as soon as you embrace them. Don't just go through the motions, live life to the fullest. Life was given to create and inspire, so use it to make this world bigger and better. 6, have faith in your senses. Trust that your eyes will see beyond the shadows, hear the waves as they crash against the shore, and the birds as they sing to the sun. Get a taste of the different cultures around the world as they surround you with tradition. Your senses will keep you safe as well as let you see the world in a way never imagined. 7, have faith in yourself. You have the mind of a genius and the soul full of compassion. Your mind is like a universe waiting to be just full of ideas, just waiting to be explored. Your heart pumps compassion through your body and it fuels you. If you have faith in yourself, you can do anything, because believing is half the fight.
The pain is the reality, deep within the chest, stabbing at the heart. Mind masked with fog, searching for clear skies, I try to find the light, but all I can see is dark. I want to know why, but there is no clear answer. An intense feeling of sorrow that never seems to fade away. Heartache is its weapon, grief will overtake you. The most terrifying form of grief can be loss itself. One's favorite hello turns into the hardest goodbye. A friend that walked amongst you in the hallway now gone, a heartbreak in our community. Fleeting memories of casual smiles, high fives, and simple greetings, moments that I now cherish. Loss. To my friend, you'll be missed. My friend that cared so much for others, my friend that loved those close to him, my friend that laughed with his siblings, my friend that affected so many lives. Loss. I now realize what is important to my everyday life. To live in the moment, always be kind, and never give up. To forget about the little things, to say more and worry less before it's gone, because life is worth living. As a community, we learn from this loss, to focus not on the sorrows, but instead the love that brings us together. The love that fills our hearts in support, the love that carries us through the darkness. Loss. The sadness that tugs at the heartstrings for happiness seems to lift the sun off the horizon when it has only set. A moment of light stems from past dark, and feelings of anguish and pain seem to depart. With each sunset, a chapter ends, and with every sunrise, a new chapter begins. Loss. Loss is still a part of me. It doesn't go away. It never disappears beyond the horizon. The sun may rise, but it will set again. Yet the sun setting is no less beautiful than the sun rising. Embrace the sunset as you would a sunrise, and accept the loss as you would love. There is no end to what love entails, through loss, tragedy, pain, and grief, even the darkness that follows after a sunset. Love surrounds us, and it is everywhere. So join me and learn from loss. Take the pain and realize how much you are loved. Love others and hold them tight, because you never know when you'll have to say goodnight one last time. Look at the sunset and on its beauty. Be patient for the sunrise, for it will always come. Following the dusk always comes a dawn. Your one takeaway from this poem may be different from mine, but I want you to know to always be kind. Love defines me, and so does grief, and now that it's over, I can give a sigh of relief.
Look at me. These hands have held the world. We've held the pain I've endured and the joy, too. They grab on to the love that I share for my friends, my family, and my passions. Look at me. These legs haven't given up on me. They hold me up through the worst of struggles, and they stay standing through the good times, too. They carry the weight of the love and the joy in my life. And they don't fall when pain is added. But when I do fall, They pick me right back up to start all over again. They hold up my heart, full of love and joy for this life I live. It has a few stitches, but it beats just fine. Love and joy flows with my blood, pumped by my heart to every part of my body. Look at me. These feet have taken me places I've never imagined. They take me to the places I've longed to go, to the places I've been forced to go. They take me to places that bring me love, and to the places that bring me joy. Look at me. My head holds the memories that constantly remind me of the feeling of love and the feeling of joy. And it holds these memories close, so I can easily reach out and grab them when I need a reminder of what brings me love and what brings me joy. In my life, the words love and joy are interchangeable. What brings me love, I enjoy, and what I love brings me joy. Okay. And a life full of love makes it easy to get rid of the hatred and pain that we shove deep down in our depths of our despair. To fill the patches that love can't repair, there's joy to bring light. And although pain might put up a fight, love and joy will come through every break and every bend, because they always come out stronger in the end.
So if I set a timer, it will just go, right?
Yeah, so you'll just have to click it and start. So then
I guess.
click it there.
What do you say? Okay, one second. Okay.
Happiness. Many people can say they're happy, but is it really true? What makes happiness? Families, friends, love? Or is happiness created where people need it most? Like people who don't have any family, or people who don't have friends, or people without love. People. All the same, yet all so different. Some people grow up with no siblings and one parent. Some people grow up with 4 siblings and 2 parents. How could these people be happy, leading such different lives? That's just it. Happiness blooms with different worlds. Everyone can have happiness. But if everyone can have happiness, why can't everyone be happy? Sadness, 16.2 million. That's the number of depressed adults in the United States in 2018. 6.7% of our population cannot feel happiness. They cannot feel the warmth of joy. All they can feel is the sadness pushing down on them every single day of their lives. Although some get past it, many suffer and suffer until they finally see a light in the dark sky above them. These people were all very sad at one point, but then the happiness found them and it held on to them and didn't let go. The happiness buried deep inside them climbed up the mountains of depression to make them feel happy once again. Happiness will find who needs help, and it will hold on and not let go. Whenever I feel low, I remember how I get the blessing of happiness, and so should everyone. We should all be grateful for happiness because it is something that many have to live without.
Success. It's all that one strives for, to finally summit that peak, to find success and victory in every corner of life, until a greater challenge presents itself and your achievements are left feeling weak. Personally, I think back in my own life, at my triumphs and my greatest failures. Success is a lesson learned through bitter strife, a value I'm still trying to regain, to truly realize. Take elementary school. Success was an A on a test. It was winning a playground game. It was innocence, a smooth, calm ocean, unmarred with the stresses of life. Success bared reward, but failure held no consequence. Naive and wandering, I found success everywhere I went. Simple games and tests led to small victories that meant so much to me at just 10 years old. Failure, though it did come, meant nothing at that age. There was no risk, and behold, no pain came from losing. Until there was. Just like that, everything changed. The high, swift wave of growing up had finally caught up with me, and I was drowning. Failure was everywhere, and this time, it brought with it the deep water monsters the simple ocean hadn't carried before. It was in losing friends, failing grades, family problems. Life was changing, and with it, one thing connected. Success was no longer playground fun. It was stress in every corner of life. It was juggling problem atop problem. I bobbed up and down on this wave, riding high triumphs in one part, but thrashing with failure in another. The bright-eyed 10-year-old boy I had been learned quickly two things about success. That one, led only to greater challenges, which at times would feel unconquerable. And two, and most importantly, success and failure wasn't everything, in whatever he would attempt in life. For a long time, I struggled with these realizations. I coped and regrouped with each failure, but these ideals still lingered in the back of my mind. But as time passed, as I found myself reaching out, putting hard work into what I wanted to succeed at, new ideals came to me. I began to see the great value in both success and failure. Oh, it came to me how much time, how much emotion was wasted, drowned in the self-pity of my failures. Even with personal problems, I began to realize that sometimes one just has to let go and learn that with every lost friend, every failed grade, every moment of sadness and anguish, that I did succeed, even in times like those, because I let those moments of great will forge my newfound drive for success. That I would take failure and learn from it, and use it to thrive the next time. And sure, success does lead to greater challenge. But then again, the journey of success is never ending, as it is a value burned within me, pushing me past every limit, through every horizon, success.
And can you hit play on mine? It's on the timer. So when I say start.
Okay, so yeah. Play on the
Yeah. 1 second.
Okay. Tell me. Okay.
Okay. Good. When I was in the 5th grade, I kicked a boy my age in the shin for calling me a word I probably shouldn't repeat. And a teacher saw. At that moment, I thought a word I probably shouldn't repeat. You see, all that teacher stopping towards had seen was a short exchange and a leg drawn back and released. This boy smirked up at me. He knew that teachers respected him on that sight, not unseen. I like to say I didn't enjoy such a pain and surprise my foot hit his shin, but I'd be lying. Long story short, so we both pouting alone together in the principal's office. The silence between us was broken only with glares that could cut through ice. And so we sat and sat and sat until finally one of us broke the silence. I don't know who or why, just after that first I'm sorry, we talked for a long, long time. About his abuse at home, his sister who was sick, how he learned the word he called me from his father's mean tricks. I couldn't relate, but I could understand his fear and silence and insensibility. That was my first encounter with empathy. Putting yourself in another person's shoes because you understand what they're going through. Insight, Effendi, my empathy is like a death penalty. If you look too hard, you'll see the fear that reveals itself when you are near to a person who isn't okay mentally. They fear you'll see too deep inside, so they shut themselves up and hide their minds. I don't really remember the first day our friendship started, only that she lived in a world of gray. It took a long time. It always takes a long time to understand, to get the full story about why she didn't live with her parents, why she moved schools halfway through the year, how those scars on her arms appeared. I remember how she gripped my hand when her bully, when people would hurt her so bad, visited the school. Her shoulders caved in like a bird's broken wings as though she was preparing for a blow. Now I know. Yet another beautiful melody that forgot how to sing. My empathy is like a death penalty. I loved him in that childish way. I remember his eyes being bluer than the sky, the mop of dark hair he always slipped out of his eyes. But then we went our separate ways, and I watched from afar as he grew his own broken wings. This time, my lack of empathy was the death penalty. The boy who trusted me name starts with an A, the girl who couldn't hear her own beautiful melody with a K, and the boy with eyes like an ocean with an A, AKA. Also use the abbreviation for also known as, used in court to specify an alias, AKA.
Empathy, also known as the cloak of invisibility, a superpower that others can't see. Coincidentally, my empathy brought me to see and understand and witness all their broken wings. And maybe, just maybe, it once again taught them how to sing.
I had a best friend, but that always seems to end. Or at least at some point. One sweep of wind and it's gone. It's never long enough. Maybe it's because I moved or got disapproved multiple years and years, but never will I forget the girl that changed family. My best friend, not by choice, of course. Back to the bus in 3rd grade, it left the circle drive by 5. Yellow, and yes, very loud, a bus, a driver, a girl, me, in seat 2B. That's where I'd be when I met the girl that changed me, Emily. Forever will I be grateful for the one with sparkly shoes. Their shoes had attitude. Assigned seats and punishment, Miss Darcy, you dragged a girl dressed in green into my seat, where we'd be friends until we were teen. Her red ponytail flopped as she sat, and that was that. That is where I met the girl that changed me, Emily. I sat nearest to the window. Hellos were exchanged through infinitely dense air. We asked each other questions, neither of us cared, just stared, and then there was silence. We were stuck, dying to go home and escape the awfulness, but the moving bus stopped us in our tracks, and our friendship flew. Never had I made a friend like this before. At this time, I didn't realize, but this girl would teach me such a valuable lesson, that friendship is needed, that having such a tight bond is necessary, and a new me was seated. But when I moved, I thought this was the end. I thought that my happiness would end here, but it didn't. Instead, our friendship was a stepping stone on the path to happiness. Friendship is just like a bus. The wheels move and then they don't. There must be a stop along the way to fill up the tank. In the end, you get to your destination. No matter how you feel about how you got there or how you feel when you get there, you get there. The friendship is a bus, and friendship leads to happiness. Happiness is knowing that even when it's dark, there's light. It's having such a tight bond that it resembles a magnet. That when you are apart, you go through thick and thin to get back to each other, to hold that friendship together. Friendship is happiness. Or happiness is friendship. Happiness is the girl that changed me, Emily. She tries to push forward. She tries to please everyone. She doesn't think about her own happiness. She doesn't understand what she could become. He tries to get her to open up. He tries to make her understand. He doesn't want her to fall just short. He doesn't want her to just disband. She wants to listen. She wants to figure it out. Maybe when I'm older, she says. Maybe when I'm not filled with doubt. He picks her up and he takes her doubt. Maybe tomorrow, he says, or maybe not. He could guide the way and help her see, for he only wants to set her free. They push, they pull, they draw a line, the boundary undefined. She needs to get through the hard times alone. She needs to be weak before she can be strong. She needs to push through all on her own. She goes back and forth, where do I belong? Should I keep going, or is this all wrong? And he can see her in that hard place. He can see her struggling through. For now, he must help her, but he needs guidance too. It's a scary place. She can't do it on her own. For a moment, I'll retreat until I get strong. For on the other side, I think it's carefree, but when I get there, I'll still be me. And maybe it won't be so scary, and maybe it won't be so hard. Maybe what I fear is just in my own backyard. It's not the place she's going, it's not anywhere she's been, it's the place within her that keeps pulling her back in. It's been quite some time since she's believed in herself. It's like she's completely turned into somebody else. The way she thinks and what she sees are two completely different entities. The outside could be filled with beauty or grace, but the inside, it's a completely different place. Is it easy, she asked, believing in yourself? Just one slight push and she'll be back to herself. She needs to get through the hard times alone. She needs to be weak before she can be strong. She needs to push through all on her own. There will be pain in his heart, and when the pain comes, he'll know to let go. He knows he can't protect her from this world anymore. He knows he'll have to leave her, his daughter, to go through life all on her
No, it's
So fun.
Happiness. It flows like a river through the course of time. It creates droughts of sadness and seasons full of joy. It has created stars throughout history, a rose rooted in everyone's mind, their actions controlled by what they think bring them happiness. A thorn covered in the blood of broken dreams, abandoned for the thought of something more. The scars that run deep, once filled with hopes and dreams, replaced with ideas of fame and fortune that barely make a dent in the vast crater. It's become so important to us that people spend their whole lives trying to find it, and as time goes on, the journey becomes an obsession. They become so desperate and obsessed with their own happiness, they forget to look for what others need. Is your happiness worth it? Is allowing yourself to... Is your happiness worth it? Is pain and destruction going to be healed in the end? Will there ever be an end? History has proven time and time again that there will always be a desire for more. The endless fire that feeds on the fuel of objects and wealth, a fire that blinds people to forget what they are looking for. On the path to happiness, there are tests and trials, signs that will try to lead you off the roads of happiness, and down paths full of anger, greed, and selfishness. But as time marches on, nothing changes. Lives are still left and lives are still lost as people continue to walk away from those who love them and those who care for them. When their dreams, greed, and selfishness take control and lead them down their path for happiness. And although happiness is essential, is true happiness necessary, as allowing yourself to turn the other cheek and see only what you want to see, worth letting someone get lost? And although the future isn't clear, what path will you choose? A life of happiness that might not be true, or a life of greed without happiness too?
Love is at the root of all things in my life. It is the sun at the core of the solar system, with the planets orbiting around it over and over. The sun keeps my days warm, my heart beating, and it keeps me happy and healthy. Love is the glue that binds everything together, and when it dries up or wears out, I'll simply add a little more to patch it up. But sometimes the glue doesn't seem to be working, and nothing seems to be sticking. But maybe that's because the wrong type of adhesive is being used, because love comes in many forms. Sometimes love takes the form of a person, a place, a pet, or an object. When I was 12, I went on a trip and returned in love with Costa Rica. I felt aligned with the ocean and the animals and the jungle.
While I was there, I understood how certain places can feel like home. At age 9, I found love within the pages of the stories I read, staying up too late, reading on top of my bed. I often found myself getting lost inside the worlds the authors had created. At age 4, my family adopted a dog, and he fit right in and brought the family closer together. He loved us, and we loved him right back. I still carry the experiences I had in Costa Rica with me in the back of my mind, and during hard times, I dig the memories up that I had buried underneath thoughts of homework and responsibility. The books I loved so dearly, I still hold on to. Each line of the stories reminds me that I am not alone. And every day, I look forward to seeing my dog greet me once I get home from school. Those places, those pets, and those things got me through each day. Love had the power to plant a feeling inside my heart, and it grew into a flower inside me. Its roots spread throughout my soul and my mind, and it blossomed into something bigger than I could have known. Love continues to remind me of all the good things in the world.
Can I go now? Happiness. Is it a feeling, a thought? How can we want something that doesn't exist? I don't know what happiness is, but I want it and feel it like pulses. And I feel it in pulses like waves crashing on the beachfront. I wanted it when my grandpa died and when my best friend moved to Australia. But I felt it as I jogged across the beach of North Carolina, watching the morning sun. Watching the morning sun dance over the ocean as the salty air coated my body. I felt it as I looked over the top of Mount Quandary into the infinite vastness of the Rocky Mountains. But I still don't know exactly what it is. Over my whole life, I've been told that we just need to be happy. But why should I force myself to be happy if something terrible happens? People just need to be sad sometimes. And sorry. So sometimes we won't always be given happiness. So sometimes we have to make it by having appreciation and a positive outlook on life. I wouldn't be happy if I got a flat tire on the road, but I could appreciate that it wasn't in the middle of the desert. I wouldn't be happy if my dog died, but I could appreciate that she lived a long life. So when the curtain of night falls over you, appreciate that your bed is keeping you warm, and remember that the sunrise will come every morning, and the flowers will blossom every spring. And there's always more happiness on the way. Thank you.
Friendship and truth. Two different meanings but intertwined together in various ways. Friendship with its definition of interaction and addition of laughter, while truth is full of words strung together by promise, or two. Both the causes of heartache and euphoria. However, only true joy is able to occur when trust is established through truth. However, even when trust is established, is it enough to merely plaster a fake smile and say, "I'm okay," when in reality the pressure tortures and taunts you? No. Especially when friends are over there waiting to assist you. However, try telling this to a high school girl who locks away all her emotions except happiness, hoping to conceal her thoughts from others, however waiting for someone to get the idea. No matter, the bond with friendship is strong and unchanging, allowing her to have a deeper meaning and understanding of friendship.
Friendship can occur and happen at any given time, such as when laughter fills a room, smiles spread across faces. Don't forget when you laugh so hard that it hurts and you forget to breathe at times. The same high schooler who is constantly lost searched for the truth in everything. Truth that people care, truth that the closest to her won't leave, and truth that she can go to her friends and family whenever she needs to in help of advice, and possibly in help of steering her back into the direction where she lost sight of. Once an understanding is set with friendship and truth, truth is absolutely necessary due to the constant and repeating thoughts of doubt. However, if the bond is deep enough and meaningful enough, the doubt slowly and gradually blows away like a summer breeze on a Sunday morning. No matter whether it be sun, rain, snow, or whatever kind of weather you think of, friendship and happiness is always there and ready to be used. And once those bonds are completely used and understanding, everything will turn out better. And especially when you can feel the happiness coursing through your body in large places. Thank
Three.
Dear classmate, you may be a lot ahead in these coming 10 years, and this is to remind you that no matter the seemingly uncontrollable dread when the water gets so high that it's covering your head, a reminder that when there's something, even if it seems that there's something beneath the surface pulling at your feet, that there is sweet, sweet strength and love of those around you, pulling you back to the reality of happiness. Everything back then was so happy. Memories dripped down the gutter like rain collecting at the base. The years spent mixing paints and pretending to be astronaut from space. I may never know exactly how it has affected me, but it has in small, seemingly unnoticeable ways. But the bad memories, as constant and as dull as the rain, but just as fleeting as my flies. Everyone around me clung to the same mutual, uncontrollable joy. The worst of the negativity being tripping and stumbling. Our injuries were only soon nursed. The worst of the negativity being tripping and stumbling. Our injuries were only soon nursed. So, our injuries were only soon nursed. We all clung to the same mutual, uncontrollable joy. But I'm sorry.
You got this. You got it, okay? Breathe. You know this.
Can I restart?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to pull it up? I can pull it up.
Yeah.
I'll do it to you if you forget.
Beginning.
Okay, log in.
Got it. Start your side.
past me, there may be a lot ahead in these coming 10 years, but this is just a reminder that no matter how seemingly uncontrollable the dread, or when the water gets so high that it's covering your head, reminder that there is sweet, sweet strength and love of those pulling you back to the reality of happiness. The memories of the past, like rain dripping down the gutter, collecting at the base, years spent building crafts and mixing paints, playing doctor and attending the astronaut in space. I may never know exactly how it has affected me, but it has in small, seemingly unnoticeable ways. But the bad memories is constant and it's dull as the rain, but just as fleeting as when it dries. Everything around me was so happy. We all clung to the same mutual, uncontrollable joy. The worst of the negativity being tripping and stumbling, or injuries growing soonest. Happiness was as common as candy, though not nearly as cherished at the time. Now I only find myself cherishing the idea of being free. Sunny blue skies is all to see, spreading out in every direction, covering everything that matters to me. Covering everything that matters to me. Clicks loosely form like ropes slowly tightening. There's nothing left for me to do to stop from tripping, for it's the slopes that keep getting steeper and steeper. It's like we're divided right in half, cursed with a razor-sharp blade, gaining and losing those closest. Losing those closest. We always thought it'd be hard to break a band as solid as ours, like the rain when it hits the land, freezing in time to ice. But now it seems as if the rain is a mind, mocking and reflecting us in a silent haze. Trying to prove independence exists within oneself, cutting out others until you're alone in a foggy mist. Cutting until you're alone in a foggy mist. Cutting out others until you're alone in a foggy mist. The water almost seems like a threat, as if it was created to destroy and wet our relations that we had built out of paper. Why had we built everything that we cared about out of paper? But time changes everything. Time changes people. Love changes people. Love, a family and friends surrounding. Though it can get close to suffocating, it's far from the drowning that once was an active possibility. Now the sunny blue skies have returned. It's bizarre how much one soul can indent a life so deeply. The rain has now stopped and has been overwhelmed by love and happiness. And sunny blue skies have returned.
So these are my visuals for the
Who got that?
Oh, really? So, after 14 years of nonstop research, I have come to the very inconclusive conclusion that the most important things in life are humor and happiness. With these two values, you can withstand anything life throws your way, which can come in many different forms. If someone is being mean to me or something unlucky happens, I know that humor and happiness will be the safety net that catches me from falling into anger and despair. So many people think that happiness can be hard to achieve, and they are right. But if you know what makes you happy and you try to do that a lot, it's not as elusive as it seems. The biggest problem of my generation, this generation, is that we are too absorbed into artificial things like our phones and technology that we forget to actually be present in the moment, the people who make us happy. When someone or when I achieve true happiness, it's like having a wall that just cannot be broken by anything. So the best example of happiness that I have seen in all 14 years is SpongeBob. He is always present in the moment with the people who make him happy. So SpongeBob also does not have an easy life. He faces different challenges. Every single episode, there's always people plotting against him. So, for example, one episode, Plankton is just trying to steal the Krabby Patty formula, right?
So then a mix-up happens, and SpongeBob is in court. No one thinks that he can win because SpongeBob's not bright. People tell him he's stupid, he can't do it, and they just publicly ridicule him. But you know what? SpongeBob is just so happy that he doesn't care what they think. He has a wall that cannot be broken. He keeps going, he perseveres, and he finds some evidence that helps him win the case. But you can't just go through life with happiness. You also need humor. Humor is so great because of the many different forms it can take. It can be a knock-knock joke, a normal joke, or a prank. As long as people are laughing, it's humor. Now, humor is so important because it tells the people you are with that you enjoy their company, and it shows them that you're human. The best example of humor is Louis Zamperini. So throughout his time in the Army Air Force, he was known for his pranks. People loved him. They laughed all the time with him. And he really gave those people something to wake up for, something to live for. And who knows what could have happened about that. They could have lost motivation. So many different bad things can happen when you don't have humor. That is why when I know that things get tough, I know that humor and happiness will be there for me and that those bad things will never break me down. Oh my gosh, wow. Is it K Woon?
Yeah.
When you first told me you were moving on, that you were done, that you found somewhere else you'd rather be than at my side, whether you meant it to be malicious or not, a little piece of me died. At first I tried to be happy, hoping there's a chance I could keep you. Through twisted words and fake smiles I lied, but if you looked at my weary eyes, it was an act you would have seen through. Day by day, little by little, you dripped out of my life. It was supposed to save me from the heartache, the headache, the hurt. So to rewire my brain full of hate, not love, I learned. So maybe it's easier being a little resentful rather than heartbroken. Maybe it's easier hating one another rather than dealing with goodbyes we both rather than spoken. So I rewired my brain full of hate, not love, as poisoned words fell out of my mouth, cherished memories I became devoid of. The rumors ran rampant as we tore each other apart. A mindset seemingly clear, but we knew it was wrong at heart. Hollow promises, a confrontation never seen, so we put the universe between us. We knew the world could be so mean. So it's been a while, and when we see one another around, we no longer smile. But this is a world filled with disgust, hatred, and pain, and I've come to the realization it's time for a change. We can't treat feelings like they're a shooting range. There's no more room in this universe to be hateful and to hold grudges. We shouldn't make the situation any worse. We've all been through pain, we've all caused it, but that doesn't get to define us. How we choose to treat others, we shouldn't omit. The world may not always be fair, others may not always act how you want them to, but the impact you make in this world is the fact that you should be aware. So as much as you think I don't care, I know I've caused people pain, and it's something I'm trying to repair. Because life is too fleeting, too short, too momentary for us to live full of hatred, so acting with kindness becomes necessary. So I'll rewire my brain full of love, not hate, and for us to tell people how we feel, we don't have the time to wait. So love everything, love everyone. When you hurt someone, apologize, say you're sorry, because you never know when everything will suddenly become undone. Don't let relationships with people you love fly away over petty arguments and poorly spoken words, because you don't want to live a life without love at the end of the day. So if you want to live a better life, rewire your brain full of love, treat people well, tell people how you feel, and kindness you'll be deserving of.
How many people are watching now? One.
My bad is previously faced.
2 miles down. 6 more to go. Nice. Okay, guys. Say bye to your parents.
Hi, 1%.
How many people
How many people?
Well, they probably all checked out. until the very last one.